Hey everyone, it's Sally Esling here from Self Empowered Lifestyles. And today on Just Choose Life, I'm very excited to sit down with Mark Engstar, who is the International Wealth Making Educator, and he's all the way from Hamilton in New Zealand. Hey Mark, thanks for joining us.
Uh, Hi, Sally. Good morning to you.
I'm just so excited to sit down and have a chat with you because, Just Choose Life is about, particularly as we're aging, focusing on what's really important and what really matters because we've all had challenges and rough times or, learnings in our life, shall we say. But at the end of the day, as we become wiser and older, we choose to be more selective and focus on things that are really important to us. I mean, we've all got a story, and this is why I love doing podcasts because we learn about people through their stories. So, do you want to share a little bit about your story and which sort of has helped shape you to who you are now and what you're doing these days?
Well, I've pretty much always sort of lived the faster lifestyle and that when I was younger, party lifestyle. Made sure I could afford it and that as well. Quite a rebellious to the government and being told what to do. So I was often an entrepreneur and I often worked outside the system. So Um, yeah, I sort of spent a life getting paid to party and that for yeah, and traveling and that. So enjoying life with friends and that, and become a paving contractor and that, and then I moved into property developing for myself, and I could do that on the side of my partying and that as well. So that was good, and I just went through life. I had my daughter when she was very young, looking after her. I told her mother that I didn't want to see her anymore, and so she had my daughter taken off me by the system. And so I decided to step outside of the paying taxes and the government and all that, and just property developed, and just collected, lived off the money from my renting my rooms, and that, and bought a house for my daughter's mother, car and things like that, and used to support her not using the system and that as well. So I did that um, throughout my daughter's whole schooling, and that it stayed outside the system. And yeah, I did property development for quite a long time, and then had health issues, probably some mental health issues as well from too much indulging and just too many head games going on. Um, and just watched my brother die of cancer. Decided to walk away from all my friends and everything. I'd had enough of that lifestyle, and sold a few properties, walked away from the rest of them, and just went off to die myself. Actually, was told I had cancer too, so I was expecting to die. So I went off to spend my money, work on my health as well at the same time in resorts, and I did that for years. And it took me a while to get over my brother's death. It really shocked me. And then I just decided a few years back to come online, challenge myself, come out of my shell, get out of your depression, and get on with life. Time slipped by and that. And so, yeah, it's pretty much been a long time since I walked away from all my friends and family, or family for quite a while, and that. I just didn't want to be with anyone. So, yeah, I'm one of those people that like to teach myself the hard way. I'm really hard on myself, and I've learning to give. That's why I formed the Strangers Community, which is our non-profit, and on there, it's there to try and help people as well to learn from other people's experiences as well. So this is why I'm talking with you, and I like to do the same thing to spread the messages and that as well. So uh, yeah, that's rushed through it, I guess, quite a few years, Sally.
Yeah, but goodness, so you when do you think was when you just said sort of recently you've really sort of turned it around, so like in the last 10 years, last 5 years, I mean, so really you've had a few, I mean, if we could unpack each one of those stories, we'd be here for hours, like incredible. But what do you think was the final turning point for you to say, no, I'm going to start giving back and, creating strangers community and that's the thing.
Well, it's something I'd always thought about from probably a child even, and that was, I'd gone off and I was always going to get my land and build a like a health resort and that from very young, and I achieved that in my 20s and built it out and lifestyle. I had many lifestyle blocks and stuff like that, many properties. Um, yeah, I achieved really fast when I became a property developer. Um, so, but yeah, and that's what's been so painful, just walking away from all that. I had gathered all the like what I considered the best water in New Zealand, the one of the best natural health products, noni, one of the best healing fruits, I believe, on the planet. And we were importing that into New Zealand, and that was the first ones doing that, and back in the 90s as well. So yeah, so I was gathering all my stuff for my detoxing and that for my health resort, and I built all the property on the coast and out in the bush and all that sort of stuff, and developed that for years beforehand. And then I just sort of had enough of everywhere, just people, just the system. Yeah, you know, lived the high life really fast. It actually took me a long time to get out of my lifestyle too, and that as well, to leave it. But it, eventually did, and so I just decided to sell all my houses where everyone knew where to find me, and that as well, so no one could track me down. And then I just um, walked away, left my properties to the bank. I didn't really owe any money on them or anything. I just wasn't thinking straight. I just didn't care. I was, like I said, I went off to die. Thought my daughter was sussed and everything. As well. I'd set a trust up for her earlier, and just yeah, just didn't expect a love really. And but I always thought if I do, then that's the ultimate challenge, and just come online, challenge yourself. Um, And that's what we're doing now. And it's been a little bit of a struggle coming on doing that, sort of learning new stuff. I hadn't used a smartphone or computer and that until the end of 2020. Um, I didn't like being in technology because it was used against me and court cases and stuff like that from the police, just trying to frame me in that for many years, um, because of who I was, and just trying to make me talk on my friends and things like that as well. So it seemed like I was getting it from everywhere. I just had enough of everyone and just all yeah, we had too much access to stuff, and I just got so sick of it. I've been doing it for so many years, and it was just false to me. Yeah, so I just wanted to give back to society and that use my brain in a healthy way. Um, and help others and that. And so it's been international as well. What my focus with what I'm doing is generational. It's my legacy, and it gives me purpose in life as well. I've always had issues with depression and stuff like that, and fought suicide for many times. Tried at times too. So. Um, Yeah, so it's seeing the signs now, and so it's something else that I care about. All the addictions and stuff like that I've been through all types of addictions, and and feel really good that I beat them all and beat them all many years ago as well. And I actually enjoy being straight, and it's quite something I never thought I'd go down that road years ago, but yeah, because I was doing quite well in that world. So,
Mark, what a story. That's like, wow. And to think it's only been, what, the last 5 years you've really got into the tech side doing this stuff. And now you head down, bum up, so passionate about what you're doing, about giving back and helping the community. I mean, you literally chose life over death. And now you're going gung ho, like turn it around on its ass. Like you're just going, you've got your passion, you found your clarity, you found your direction, and now you're just going for it. And you're doing it with such passion, but about giving back and about helping the community. It's amazing.
Yeah, like I got thoughts going through my head at the moment with the issues that are going on, because not long after I started, I chose the wrong partners and stuff like that, and they sabotaged my website on delivery and things like that. I wasn't in a good frame of mind over that because I was working with all these orphanages and schools, and I just started them earning. My goal is to help them earn their own money as well.
Mm.
So that had just started using one of my companies. And when they destroyed that website, I tried to overdose and stuff like that. I had just had a hip operation, so I thought I'd spend that time as well to um, build my charity and that as well while I was learning to walk again and stuff like that. So I had plenty of painkillers and that. So I went and got a bottle of whiskey and sunk that and woke up 5 days later on my bed and I hadn't died. So yeah, and then I had it sabotaged again, my site, right? And so I tried again, and now I think I haven't slipped into that sort of depression again. That so that's been a couple of years now, since yeah, a couple of Christmases ago.
Wow. I mean, it's got to be a sign, Mark, that you're here for a reason, right? That's part of your purpose. Being saved too many times. Do you know what I mean? Like, just, yeah,
Yeah,
having known you, not through all your story, but just through other community that we're in. I mean, you're just so passionate about helping others, absolutely. And it's your experiences have shaped you, right? It's your learnings and growings along the way, and you probably had some pretty extreme learnings along the way there from what we've been discussing today. But this show is all about saying it's never too late to just really focus on what's really important. It doesn't matter what's happened in the past because the past is the past. We learn and grow from it, but it's shaped us to who we are today. Like, at the end of the day, you're a father and you're a friend and you're a businessman. And, it's what you've done in the past has shaped you to this. When you ran the resorts, was that in New Zealand or did you run them around the world? Or,
um, I was going to develop my own resort and stuff like that too. It was sort of ahead of the time, right? It was
yeah,
before B&B and stuff like that. I actually started to build a website for it, and I actually teamed up with a local guy who was starting to build the website for me, who has built the third biggest toy website in the world, and that as well. And so my website was the other one that he was doing at the same time, and he only wanted to work on two projects. And it's really sad that I walked away from that in the 90s when I started that. Um, my secretary annoyed me, so I threw my computer out the top story of my window and smashed it onto my concrete drive. So, and that was the end of that. I was spreading my portfolio. I was doing really well, property developing and other things, and so buying artwork and doing just expanding my earns and different businesses. Like I said, had the water and the noni we were importing, and I
not,
just developed all my sites, right, for my cabins and everything like that on my land. All my land was freehold, all that sort of stuff, everything. Yeah.
was that noni water? What was the water called?
It's yeah, noni juice. Yep.
Man, I used to be on that stuff. Was that back in the 90s? That was,
Yeah, early 90s we were doing it.
yeah, that stuff was great. So you were
Yeah.
the importer with that. Incredible.
Yeah, yeah, and it like I've had a lot of motorbike accidents, car accidents, stuff like that too. So it was really good for healing for me and that too, and I've suffered ulcers from when I was a teenager from heavy drinking and stuff like that. And I used to drink 3 bottles of vodka a day and wash down my pills and everything so that I could walk again. I spent 10 years with my foot hanging like that from a high-speed motorbike accident, so broken necks, crushed pelvis, many other bones broken. And but I used to have to wear a splint for many, many years, nerve damage right down my leg and foot and stuff, and which was very, very painful, nerve damage sort of thing. So I lived in a lot of pain for 10 years, and the doctor's pills wiped my stomach out and stuff like that, so. And yeah, I just used to just drink on it and take everything else on it and stuff like that, and then just take everything else instead of the pills. And yeah, lived on Gaviscon and Fisherman's Friends and things like that. To party on those and take pop those and just party still on burning acid stomach.
Wow. So, yeah, well, that was then and this is now. So, what do you think for people that are wanting to bring some change in their life? Maybe they're not in such a dire situation, but they're ready for some change because, as we open today, saying as we're getting older and wiser, things that were important to us before aren't now, and we change our focus. So, what do you think would be the biggest challenge amongst people that you work with about bringing some change into their life?
Well, I know that you've got to really want to change.
Yeah.
It's like people that are trying to give up cigarettes
Yeah.
and stuff like that. You got to really get sick of it. You got to really hate it to really want to give up and change. I just think there's so much information out there now. There's so much like what you're doing, podcasts and people, talking about things. The experiences of the helpers there too, or your counselors and everything like that are out there now, all available. There's just so much wisdom out there now to be shared and online.
Yeah.
It's a totally different and that.
Definitely the age of awareness. This is the first time in history, really, that there's so much focus on self development, self help. There's so many tools and resources that are free. Like you said, there's podcasts, so many empowering different avenues, books, podcasts, the shows, YouTube, whatever. And I think you're right. Absolutely. You can't cause change if you're not committed to it yourself. So I think that really is number one factor is you have to get your head right and say, right, this is it. Draw that line and say, I'm ready. I'm ready for bringing some change in. So then if you've made that commitment, what do you think, what would be 3 tips you could share on how to sort of implement or stick to it or go about it? Because, right, I said, right, okay, that's it. I'm ready for change. I'm going to do it. What would be some tips to encourage people or to support them as they're going through bringing this change into their life?
Yeah, well, things are so different for everyone and everyone's life situation. But
What
the
about in
easiest,
your situation? What keeps you going when you sort of like want to fall off the wagon or
uh,
too hard? What's the thing that picks you up and you dust yourself off and that sort of
I don't ever like to be beaten.
okay.
I, I don't give in, and I drive myself harder than anything. But I also, so yeah, I just this was my last chance of my like comeback. This is my last energy into doing something. Otherwise, it's like if this doesn't succeed, it's just give up. Go and snot yourself, or it's better than being a bum and that for the rest of your life, sort of thing. So, but it's my inspiration that I want to leave for my grandboys
Yeah,
and my daughter and just others who are in holes and stuff like that. And that's why
yeah.
I think everyone should be an entrepreneur, at least on the side of what they're doing
Mm,
and that. So my goal is to let people become entrepreneurs, share that knowledge for them. And that's why I have businesses that people can get into, no money down, and we'll even support them, the strangers community.
yeah.
And So there's no reason for anyone to be able to. I've sourced the world and I'm creating as well um, the means for people to be able to do this and pretty much every country and that and with no money, So eventually they're going to hear about me and that through some of the communities I'm already working in and helping and very shortly, once my YouTube is running better, my marketing teams are running better, I can get their word out and all that as well. Like I've started to interview the leaders of their charities so they can talk about their visions and missions. And I've been starting to put it on the Strangers Community YouTube channel. And that's my gift to them, to society. And that's something I do out of my pocket as well. So pretty shortly too, I'm going, the Strangers Community needs to stand on its own legs and that as well. I've been paying for it all these years, and my vision won't carry on without me. Like I am trying to help other charities and that to become self-funded. I've got to do that myself this year too, as well. So take all the pressure off me as well, and walk the walk sort of thing with my own entity, and then it will be my own legacy and that as well. So yeah, to me, I'm leaving the tools for life and that for everyone pretty much. It's my gift to the world. Like you say, we come into the world. Most people don't know what they're here for and their purpose. And so I think I've found mine for sure. And it keeps me busy and I'm a multitasker. I love challenges. When I was property developing, I'd have many properties on the go at the same time. And you're juggling all the labourers because we were doing the properties up. I was juggling the councils and that for paperwork, and and I had other businesses on the side. So yeah, I just thrive on that. Um, I spent I lost my driver's license from when I was 15, and did 22 straight years before I set it, and then I lost it again. I've done over 30 years being disqualified. So that screwed up my life from a teenager um, through my 20s, through my 30s, and that as well, which made me think really different too about how do I kill as many birds while I'm traveling, and that how do I make money while I'm out, and because every time I drove, I'd rush to go to jail just for disqualified driving, and that got boring. So and it was really hard, I had to risk driving to go and see my daughter at her mother's house and stuff like this. And then the mother would decide to have cops waiting for me. And when you leave and things like this. So, yeah, it's really, um, so I suffered a lot through those years where you're vulnerable and stuff like that. They used to arrest me for driving to work and stuff like this, trying to live a legal life. And it just forced me into a life of crime and that for a long time um, as well. So, um,
Mark, there's so many lessons that you've learned from that. Look at the growth now. Look at to who you are now, and the stories. Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness, we've only just sort of done a brief overview of some of the past, but this show is all about just who you are now, from where you've been, and where you're going to, and you're building a legacy to leave. You've got this determined attitude. You're sharing your knowledge. You're such an entrepreneur, and sharing your wisdom, and you're just wanting to give back to the community. And you've got such a big heart, and as you said, your purpose. So you're so in your lane there. You've got your focus, you've got your clarity, and yeah, it's not smooth riding. And in this economic climate and whatever, it's tricky. It's just tricky, but you're staying on path. And yeah, sure, you get rattled a bit, but you're going forwards, not backwards. And look, I salute you, Mark, because it's incredible. It's incredible life that you've had, and to be alive is incredible too, I might add. So Mark, thank you for coming on. How can people reach out to you and find? Oh, there we go. Strangerscommunity.com. You can go to the website there or email info@strangerscommunity.com. Because Mark,
Perfect.
it's worth reaching out because you've got so much going on, but you've got so many opportunities and with your YouTube and your not-for-profits and the Great Discovery. You've got lots of things going on.
Yeah, yeah. I've got my toolbox full of ways to help people.
Yeah, you definitely do. Well, Mark, thank you so much for taking the time and for being real, raw, vulnerable, just being the authentic you and sharing part of your story with us because people love stories. We all learn from everybody's stories because that's what we resonate with real people who tell real stories. So thank you for doing that with us today. And look forward to catching up with you and seeing where Strangers Community is going down the track, hey? What happens around the corner.
Thank you so much, Sally.
All
Appreciate it.
right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again next time.